when you are a lovely 5D mystic who's also empowered, we tend to see men choosing fear and codependency a lot. That's because the 5D mystic is an integrated brain, so that Christ consciousness comes from having the left and right mode, my verbal and my emotional plane, they're my friends. And I'm in a default mode network that is downregulated because I'm a restorative embodiment and I'm a secure attachment. So my 1 year old is seen by me. I'm my own safe haven. I can regulate my nervous system. And I'm my own secure base. I go off into the world, explore, learn, and here's where I'm attachment trauma informed, in addition to being in the Enlightenment Soul Age group and woo woo pseudoscience for the people who don't believe in us mystics, but also to respect those lovely academics. So again, I bring human, spiritual, and spirituality elements, is what I call subject matters together, the spirituality and spiritual from my personal experiences. Also, I'm a Reiki master. I am in the process of becoming a mindfulness meditation, holistic life coach. I got those certificates on the, standby. And in the meantime, tarot card and Akashic record self-taught reader. Those are all amazing aspects and part of the toolkit for those who do mentorship one-on-one together and group. We have future group stuff going on, but what I'm really trying to get to, besides introducing a little bit of this and that, is that men who choose fear and codependency, they need a good therapist, is what I'm going to say. And the 5D mystic will know that, which is why we don't have a saga with our twin flames, or soulmates. And we know when we meet love because we're love first here, and because any person is beautiful just the way they are. True partnership, though, is you being able to walk a walk and talk a talk, which you won't be able to do if your inner child is not you. And that means if you have any type of, I'm going to hide vulnerability from myself, you're not passionate. Okay. So when men are choosing fear, it's clear for a 5D mystic. The mystic is bonus. Already as a teenager, I began to learn how to use my gut because I have a restorative embodiment. I have healthy self-worth and I'm self-empowered. And so society doesn't dictate to me how I'm going to live my life. I am solo polyamory, and the polyamory community is a beautiful one. I already was basically in this group as a teenager, but we didn't have the word. And at the same time, I was in a monogamous relationship because I was being raised within Christianity, Catholicism. You're not going to be taught how you can marry more than one person, right? You can marry one. And also, though, when you do fall in love, right, the first love, they say it's never going to happen the same. And I said, nope, liars, liars, pants on fires. The big adults were liars. Why? Because when I got broken up from my first relationship, 1 month after, I was like, wow. Oh my gosh, this woman, she did me a favor. They're still a couple. They're happy together. That was the 4th cheating incident. And no, I did not have to heal from any trauma, betrayal, none of that, because whenever someone lies to me, I know that you chose fear. I'm 4'9". The fact that you can't look me in the eye and tell me the truth, there ain't no badass in front of me. That's as straightforward as it gets. You have no badass in you because you don't have the guts to talk to me in my face. No. So long story short, though, codependency, it's for people who don't own their 1 year old. And if you do own, you won't go towards that. Also, some people, the whole monoamory monogamous stuff, it's a personal journey. And when people want to apply their belief systems, it makes me think of the Scarlet Letter times. And so, yeah, I did an episode on polyamory is not unfaithfulness. It's consensual non-monogamy, okay? So please, I'm not fond of having to box things up, but just FYI. And for me, once I got to my 3rd twin flame, I was like, yeah, it's a deal breaker. You got 1 twin flame, a special bond. You got 2, now you know. And I remember when the second one came around, I was like, oh, now I'm expanding my view of love because I already loved more, but I didn't romantically love more than one person. And romantically, why? Because a special bond means it's not a typical friendship. Okay, so it's not ever going to be a typical friendship. That's the part of what a person who is in the plane of our lovely mysticism land. Again, this is not a race. Some people, they think that they have to organize all of these words, twin flames, divine counterparts. I noticed that we have a lot of teenagers out there. You, if you're a mystic tuning in here, you'll know what is true to you. That's it. Okay, but let me focus on the human stuff because that's what I want to focus on. I'm a 0 1 year old who's seeing my own self. I can soothe my nervous system. I can soothe me. I'm okay with being myself. My name is Maria. I am a 3 year old with a 44-year-old body. Your pure piece of consciousness is unconditional love. Purusha Prakriti. Your pure energy is your whole 3 year old heart. So when you have reparented or never lost your inner child, there you go. Okay, so when I see men choosing fear, it's very straightforward because if you meet someone who talks to you and is always understanding and is able to work with everything that you bring my way, well, there's something off. It's not me. It's not you either. And today with attachment trauma information, I know that those who have a dysregulated, dysfunctional nervous system, so their home was where they had to work for love. Love was not easy, and they did not get to express those 6 basic emotions. I am danger. I'm danger because their 0 1 year old is not familiar with my nervous system, and their 0 1 year old was seeking it though. Your attachment system seeks consistent, contingent communication. Your attachment system seeks to be safe in its own environment, which is your body. Intimacy is the relationship you have with this. So when somebody, though, is doing this, their chit chatter when they meet me, if they were a human being who is going to be defined as a man, then they would know how to talk their mouth, not project bullshit. Okay, so long story short, manipulators, I don't consider a person a manipulator because we all manipulate for one, but two, because I'm going to notice something's off the minute my body begins to get, what is the word? Well, I'm just going to notice because I'm not going to be having as much fun because you're not having fun because you're not knowing how to just be you. Now, I, on the other hand, will present to you if I have any insecurities, if I'm upset, everything, because a 3 year old, that's the whole 3 year old, will tell you the truth, nothing but the truth. And I don't want to lie. It feels wrong. For me, it feels wrong. It feels bad. It feels off to lie. But not in the way of let me tell you everything as if I were unaware of how people will use the very words that you say against you. Oh no, I've had those experiences. Yeah. Yeah, those are interesting. And what's even more fascinating is when you meet women as you get older. Because see, there is something that happens when I get to meet people. With men, I'm used to having to baby them because I was taught the gender stereotypes. So I'm used to one, babying them, two, I'm 4'9". I physically don't stand a chance. So I won't be telling you anything about your shame or grandiosity in a way that could trigger you emotionally. Not only I don't want to do that, but two, again, I'm not going to risk that because you're not in therapy. You're not doing anything about your attitude. I'm not here to mother you or do any of that. When it comes to women, because we're going to be in the same, gender in this case, or however you want to put it, different stuff happens. And so, yeah, that creates for me, again, silence because you're presenting to me an insecurity. Anytime I meet low self-esteem people, I'm not going to tell them anything. I'm going to show up as myself, leave it alone. They've chosen fear. They are codependent types. They don't see their 0 1 year old. They don't even notice anything. They're on Elsa's journey. So between Pinocchios, Cuscos, squirrels, and all of it, when I meet the poorest boundaryless or the ones who avoid and they wall off, I'm just happy that I don't have to keep on walking in a specific way. So with men, it's easy to notice them choosing fear because they don't choose a conversation and a healthy self-worth partner. They're going to choose to go to what is familiar to their nervous system. They won't question what they're doing unless they're smart. And that means they're stable, mature, adaptive, rational, teachable of their self. So they're self-aware, self-reflective. They're open-minded to noticing, wait a minute, I have a chit-chatter and I have a feeling. Okay, my chit-chatter, shut up for a minute. This is called I can control. Yeah, it's not even control. It's a decent human being who's using the capacity, like a 5 year old, shut the mouth up for a minute. I got emotions. They're coming up. Yeah, don't like it. Okay, it's not a truth. It's I don't like something. It's called implicit bias, political, religious, cultural, gender, right? Okay, I'm not, something here is like, do I have proof? Do I have physical proof? of what I'm chit-chatting about and feeling with this human being. Okay, so what a healthy, self-empowered woman can tell you is that I know how to walk a walk and talk a talk and be this right here, 3-year-old. When I was told, I thought you would change. And this was another one of my beautiful relationships. And see, what makes me laugh is people think that those of us who smile are the most depressed, that we're hiding something. To this day, there are people who think, who knows what suffering is here. They don't understand. I have no suffering because I don't use my temporal junction. I use my prefrontal cortex, and emotion lasts 90 seconds. I do the inner growth mindset that we learn about. And I'm like, so when I got told these words, I was inside confused. Like when I was a child growing up and the grown-ups said, be yourself, and then they go and correct you. And I'm like, wait, now you confuse me. So I just sat with it and left it alone. I didn't decide. I'm just like, yeah, I'll contemplate this as I get older, but you don't make sense. I like being myself. I'm going to stick to being myself. And whatever this thing about you telling me how to do life, I'm going to think about that one. Okay. And that's all that happened. And in fact, I'm a differentiated 3-year-old self. Ask my mother, all the arguments we have. And my twin, those are the people that I'm still my 3-year-old. So true partnership is when a man can speak to your face, not behind your back, and also be an inner child. Okay, so what I was trying to get to is what I know women, men, and days who are not securely attached do. They project shit, all the low self-esteem. So I've learned how to catch it, but I'm not going to use too much time around it either, because yeah, it's all fear-based. It's really boring. They put in the mix the stereotypes, all of it. It's just boring. And I was going somewhere else with the part about me changing. I was confused because I was like, you met me, and what are you talking about? I don't change. This is who I am. How is this? How is this coming up? So I was freed. Every one of those relationships, I was free to continue being me. I was already being me, and nobody was in prison. But what I'm trying to get to is the men who are passionate, they won't give up a woman who is passionate. And since I am passionate and I am honest and I'm a polyamory person, when I meet a man who's like, oh no, you can't love more than one person. You can fuck all the people you want. This is a true story. It's happened. This man, he likes to tease me, and we're friends. And when I made it clear, I said, no, you don't understand. I have more than one person I love in a special way. And his head just did this. And then he's like, no, that's not okay for me. I was like, well, we're not together, so it's okay. You don't have to say yes. And he's like, but how does that work? And okay, so the concept of love, like I said, I have twin flames. That's when I move beyond that one special someone because it's an undeniable bond. But also, I'm a 0-1-year-old. I don't need to attach to you securely, which means you do you and I do me. I have compersion. I want you to be happy. So the fact that some women, when they talk about their twin flame, they're like, yeah, I'm fine without them, but they actually have an attitude. I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because I know how to handle my pissy 3-year-old. There's something you have to accept, Maria. You don't like it. Does the world revolve around you? No. Okay. Are you wanting them to be miserable? No. That would be not kind. Thank you, Jesus, for reminding me about being kind and God. Okay, so what is love, Maria? Well, they get to fly free and wherever they want. Okay, so see, hopefully, this is why I don't want to do personal development. When people do that, it's like, well, you're cutting yourself short from being able to have what is a beautiful life with all people. My 0-1-year-old doesn't need you to say, yeah, good job. Actually, if you try to fix me, no. And if you try to save me, no again. I'm going to call bullshit and bullshit. And my inner world as a 3-year-old is going to say, I don't know who you think you have. This is not that person. I don't need you to fix me. I'm not broken, nor is any person, by the way. They can get good therapy and get their whole inner child. You reparent yourself. I don't need you to protect me because that's bullshit. Because if the roof falls on my head right now, liar, liar, pants on fire. And that's it. This is the equation. So don't give me any certainty because you are not certainty. I'm not certainty. Life is not certainty. See, this is our secondary consciousness. And look, I got to handle the fact that I don't like that I'm going to die one day, dealing with the unknowns, uncertainties, and unexpected. Thank you, Daniel Siegel. It's with the right mode. I'm a divine feminine with my own divine masculine. But the divine feminine, see, we work with our inner child because our right mode is what we're going with. Analogical, the sensations. I lead with feelings. My verbal doesn't mean anything to me. First this, then this. And so here's where my gut tells me what to do, not my left mode. My left mode, I don't, nope, you come after. My left mode I use when I'm reading, when I'm evaluating, when I'm doing equanimity, unflappability. So what I'm going to close out with, a divine masculine or a man, if they do not choose their inner world, I know something. They're not going to be self-reflective, self-aware, emotionally aware, and say, wait a minute, I'm seeing that person. I've known them for a long time, for example, or a little time. Depends. If they watch, oh, they're going to notice their inconsistency. And that's the minute that I'm going to wonder, are they going to get attachment trauma informed so they can figure out if they've been dating people that are unworthy because they maybe have a regulated nervous system for dysfunction? So maybe, just maybe, they can grow empowerment and then enjoy what passion actually is. People who are passionate, the beauty of being an empowered woman, when you meet men who are actually on a journey to be their own self, that's when you know the energy of passion. And that's when you know the actual divine masculine energy, like the divine masculine energy will know the divine feminine energy. We have both. The divine feminine who's balanced will already know how to use both. Because again, my left mode don't bullshit me. My body comes up and I will know from here. Some things I know today. Some things I won't know today. It's okay. I'm not in any rush. Relationships are a bonus for people who are empowered. So women, we're not seeking to attach. I see myself. I soothe my nervous system. It's a safe haven, secure base. If you want to join me, you walk with me and you don't pull me down. I pull you up and you pull me up and then we lift higher. The minute that you're pulling down, okay, I'm going to need to check. What are you doing? I'm going to check with you. And by the time I check with you, you're going to choose fear. You're going to run out of there and you're going to go somewhere. And I'm going to be like, okay, it wasn't, I'm protected. It wasn't any of that. I'm happy. They're happy. We had a good run, whatever it is, it's recalibration. And on that note, again, true partnership, we walk together. Passion, walk together. Love, walk together because we can talk eye to eye, authentic self, no masks. It's really fun. Join us for 5D relationships for your inner growth journey to move into that enlightenment the human way. And just, if you're curious about 5D mystic stuff as well, have a great one.